Yo, peoples, welcome again to another Hostro Bro podcast slash sports talk show. People, thank you again for coming out. We really appreciate you guys. Um, Today, I'm joined with my boy Cody and my guy
Oh,
Rayvon, and
What's
we're
the
going to
word?
just chop it up in some sports today. On the agenda, we got NBA talk. The season is going to start this week, so we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to start where we left off with Kyrie's situation with the Nets, and then we're going to move on to some combat sports in MMA stuff and boxing. And if we have time for other stuff, we may drop it in there. But again, thank you guys for coming out and be ready, people, because we got a nice treat for you guys today. So, without further ado, I'm just gonna let the boys say, you know, hello or whatever. So, starting with you, right one,
Hey,
give the people
welcome
a
back
shout
to
out.
everyone that came out the last time. I'm sure we got some people here on the live know that would have supported us. I just want to say that I appreciate that a lot, and we look forward to making the stream a lot better, making it more interactive. We're glad with the feedback that we got from you last time, so looking forward to getting some more positive feedback and some ways that we can improve. Uh, On to you, Cody, if you have any words to say.
um, I just gotta say, can't wait to start talking about combat sports again, and I can't wait to talk about the NBA season. Yep, that's all I have to do. All I have to do.
All right, so with that, people, what we're gonna do is start off with NBA talk. Now, last time we spoke about Kyrie's situation, and the vaccine and how he doesn't want to take it, and how that is kind of conflicting with his contract and playing with the Nets for this 2021 to 2022 basketball season. So with that, I'm gonna pass it off to Ray one, and he's got all the information downloaded for you guys, so he can just spit some bars on Kyrie's situation. Just give everyone an update, basically.
Right. So the last update with Kyrie. So Kyrie came on Instagram Live a couple of days ago. I was able to be up and tuning in with it, and he really came on to share his views because prior to that point, um, Kyrie didn't come out and say anything official about the situation. He was really quiet. The media was trying to question like what does he have to say on the situation and what's not. He kind of and during the live he kind of alluded to it a little bit, talking about the media, speaking about things that they don't know about and stuff like that. But long and short of it came, and he said, well, he's not retiring from basketball because that was a rumor that was spreading around. I'm not sure if you were tuned into the last live, but we would have mentioned that that if he gets traded from Nets, he will be considering retiring, but he just came out and confirmed that that was a false rumor. He came out and kind of stated his position on the situation, but didn't really at the same time. He's saying that he's taking a personal decision and he wants I guess essentially the time to kind of figure it out. And a lot of critics has been saying that well he would have known that this would have been something possibly coming before training camp and what's not. He would have had the time to kind of figure out if he wants to take the vaccine or not for sure. I guess he was saying that he should be granted more time because he's seeing how he's looking at the vaccine from a bigger picture as it relates to how it's affecting people's livelihoods, and he wants to be a voice for those people and what's not. Um, he went on to say though that he's not leaving the NBA, he's not retiring, and he's trying to figure out a way how he'll be able to play. But truthfully, Kyrie, I don't see a way how you're going to play if you don't take that vaccine. And I think it's just going to come down to that, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure what other possible route there will be. I I really am lost there as to his stance on playing, wanting to play, but still not wanting to take the vaccine. You know.
Yeah, I mean that's I guess conversational point that you made. Based on what he said, that he's trying to be a voice or to stand up for people who might have lost their jobs because of their choice not to take the vaccine. I've seen clips where people have been talking about that choice and how valuable is that choice to them, and why should it affect their livelihoods like that. So that's a good point. What do you think, Cody?
I just find it interesting First of all, we should also always put it into context. So the context is it's not an NBA mandate or anything like that. It's the state of New York's mandate that Kyrie would have to take the vaccine in order to play in the NBA at home games. I just find it a bit interesting as well that Bradley Beal from Washington is also unvaccinated, and he has free reign to play in New York as well as play in other states within the United States for the whole season. So
Correct.
it's a bit two sided, I would say. I think that Kyrie does have the. I'm probably gonna change my stance from last week. I ain't gonna lie to you, but Kyrie.
Drama
At the
queen.
end of the day, it's a personal decision. That Kyrie does have the right to make a personal decision.
Yeah.
What he said on his Instagram live made some valid points. I don't think it so raises to the level that you should negate the team. It doesn't. To me, it doesn't raise to that level, but for him, it does. That's I guess a personal threshold that he has for himself. But
Yeah.
I just think that there should be some consistency around the board that players like Bradley Beal, who's also a vaccinated, could play the right Curry can. I think this will be a non-issue if there was more consistency around the states. You know.
Yeah, I totally
Correct.
agree with that because it's like I a little bit. I mean because it is a state by state thing. That is where the complication arises. The NBA can mandate a state to to mandate that players be vaccinated or unvaccinated in order to do so. But it's just still so weird. Like as you say, Bradley Beal could come to the Nets and play unvaccinated, but Kyrie can't. Like the consistency is it don't really make sense there. But as you say, they don't have the authority to tell the state what to do or what not to do at the end of the day. So that's where the issue arises mainly.
I
Um,
mean, that's a clear contradiction right there in rules. And if I were in Kyrie's position, I would definitely question that and try to see it that something is like a rule is made that fits everybody. And if it applies to one person, it has to apply to everybody else. And this whole vaccinated unvaccinated thing is a very touchy situation in my opinion. And like this is the best example you can get in terms of figuring out what's the best move to make when it comes to vaccinated or unvaccinated and sports
mhm.
for players as well as fans. So yeah, very good points all around the board.
Yeah,
And to be honest, good luck to Kyrie,
yeah,
man. I actually hope that he plays because
yeah.
this will be a very interesting season if we get the Brooklyn Nets trio in there because we got the Lakers trio
Mhm.
dialed in already, and we want to see a very competitive season this time. Hopefully, we don't get any injuries at all. I would
Yeah.
hate to see anybody get injured. Um,
That's
but yeah,
that would be an ideal world. If only that used to
yeah,
happen, then the seasons would be much more interesting. Like right now, heading into the season, we got quite a few guys injured. We got Kawhi injured for possibly the whole season. With
mhm,
the potential to play in the postseason. We got Jamal Murray from the Nuggets injured. Um, we got Zion missing the start of the season because he had a foot injury. Like just some big name players out there that are
yeah,
not going to be able to start with their teams. Getting that rhythm. To make the season a little bit more exciting. But these are the things that you go through in the NBA from year to year, and they're pretty much unavoidable. Um, so it's just a matter of if luck has it on your side.
yeah, for
Well,
sure.
just branching off, and I wanted to ask, who do you think would is a player that is going to be most missed that's currently in? Because to me, right now, as I see it, Clay Thompson is due to come back
Yeah.
later this season, um, and I think that he will have the most impact of all the players that are currently injured. Because you will have Clay, then you will have Poole that's really showing that he could shoot, and then we will also have Steph. So those are the three shooters. Know that Warriors will have, and that will be a deadly combination. True regular season if you play. So I just want your opinion on that.
Okay. Well, I actually contrary, I agree with the point that you're making. I think Clay will have a big impact on the Warriors, but I think that because Clay was out for so long, he's going to need a little bit more time to like just find his rhythm, find his groove back, get into playing on the high speed and what's not again. But I feel like actually the Clippers might miss Kawhi a bit, even though Kawhi does his load managing stuff throughout the season and what's not. I am a little bit skeptical to say that Paul George will be able to carry them to like I say a reasonable seed in the playoffs. Let's say six between that 6 to 8 range. I'm a little bit skeptical about that because Paul George over the past few years has had some injuries too, and that might be something that sneaks in and causes the Clippers to be out of the playoffs this year. Like that's a big possibility. He's their only real star player. So I think that that team Clippers would have that's a team to watch regarding the impact of injuries and what's not. You know?
You know, you just say that Paul George is the only star that they have, and
Yeah,
the only one that could really carry them into a decent seed in the
yeah,
playoffs. This I cannot believe that this is the same team that 2 years ago there was so much hype around.
yeah.
There was
It's
so
true.
much championship talk. There was like this going to be the greatest team that LA has ever seen. Clippers, Lakers, regardless, they're going to take over Staples Center. etc. It is mind-boggling that 2 years later, injury to Paul George, that we possibly talking about the Clippers not even making the playoffs this
Yeah,
season.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
a lot could happen in 2 years when
yeah,
you're dealing with NBA, and that's like just coming back off that point where everyone made about injuries. Like these things are inevitable. You can't really tell when someone is going to get injured and how it would affect the team. Um, I think Blake got traded from Clippers, correct? Between those 2 years,
no,
I, I don't know. He wasn't there with
yeah,
Kawhi was
mm,
being
uh,
announced.
he was there the year before then.
I think
I'm
he was in.
thinking.
Or he was
No, he
deceased.
was there a little. He was a little there a little while before. He would have got traded
Mhm.
to Detroit and stuff like that. Blake was at Detroit for maybe about 2 years actually. So, that was a
Mhm.
little while after Blake was traded. Um,
Okay.
yeah, but um,
But
Well, coming off of
who,
that point though, we've seen the preseason. Preseason just ended, and we're getting ready for the official season, 2021 to 2022. Um, what are your thoughts based on the games that you've watched, and how you see these first two games between Nets and Bucks and Warriors and Lakers playing off?
well, before we get into the season openers, I can just touch on a few teams. Was able to watch a few games here and there, and the first thing I can say is that the Bulls look great. To be honest, I know it's preseason and you need to be a little bit cautious about getting overestimating what happens in the preseason. A good example of that would be the Mavericks beating the Hornets by like 70 points or how much ever points it was. It was just absolutely insane. But
Mhm.
there's not much to read into that really and truly. But I think the Bulls look great. Their offense looks great. They actually look a bit better on defense, really and truly. So I feel that they're gonna have a great season coming out the gates, really and truly. They look like they've been playing together for a little while. Outside of that, the Pelicans don't really look that good, to be honest. And seeing that Zion is going to miss the start of the season for a couple of weeks, he's supposed to get reevaluated in about 2 weeks after the start of the season. And I don't think that's good for them. I think that's a team that needs to get out the gate running. And from what I saw from them so far, they don't look really in tune on defense. The offense is okay, but I don't know. I don't want to read too much into it, but just I feel like sometimes you could tell just from the aura of the team. I don't know if that's a good way to put it, but the aura of the team doesn't seem like it has that winning mentality or that winning spirit about it right now. Right? I could say that. Now we're talking about Zion. I don't know if you guys see pictures of Zion in the commercial looking as fat as ever. I don't know. I don't know. I understand you might be injured, but damn, yo. Like, damn, the man look like he just been coach surfing for the whole vacation. I don't know. Like,
Definitely for all those COVID points at the rest of us for sure.
jeez,
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. I hope that he could find some way to get himself back in the shape because uh, I know the NBA really likes to see Zion. He's like they kind of allude to him as kind of the face of the league to a certain extent. It's just that it hasn't worked out for him as much as they would have hoped so far. Um, I think also coming from preseason, I feel like a lot of rookies had some great games, and last year the rookies from last year didn't have a preseason to actually play in, and this draft class seemed to be taking full advantage of the fact that they have been able to do so, and seen some rookies putting up some decent games. A guy from the Nets called Cam Thomas, I think is his name. Um, but Knight from the Hornets that was drafted by the Hornets. And a guy from the Spurs called Josh Primo. He was playing nice. From the Pelicans actually also. I can't remember his name. I think it's something Murphy the third, but he's had some good games. So looking forward to see how this year's draft class, you know, meshes into the actual NBA season and how they play and what's not. But this specific draft class was supposed to be or was touted as one of the good good to great draft classes, and so you should have some great talents coming out of it. Some highlight plays from some of the rookies and what's not. Another big point from the preseason is the man called Tyler Hero out on a mission. The man called Tyler Hero is here. So Tyler the Hero went off in the preseason, and I think this is one highlight from the preseason that we can actually take into the season. I know I could say that Tyler Hero is an enigma. He could be pretty up and down,
Mhm.
um, and I just think that this year he might be a little bit different. I don't think from the quote that he was saying that he feel like he should be in the conversation as Luke Country. I don't think he's on that level, but I feel like he's out on a mission to prove people wrong. Um, about who he is and the player that he could be this year. He's also a new father also, so there might be some motivation there. So I think he'll be praying for a great season this year. I think the Heat are going to be dangerous. I don't think enough people are talking about it, but I think the Heat are going to be dangerous, and I think Tyler Hero will play a big role in that specifically. You know,
I mean, he defense went up to with the acquisition of Kyle.
correct, correct,
Yeah, so
and I think
that definitely.
but don't underplay Kylori's playmaking too because I think his impact on the offense is just as great because he can push the tempo and I think that suits Tyler Hero's style also at the same time because he's like a quick hitter. He could get you a bunch of points in just like a couple of seconds. So I think
Hmm.
the Heat is a team to watch out for based on what I see in the preseason so far too. Um,
Yeah.
and
So
yeah, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna give the announcement for the first break, but
Yeah,
if you have a last point, you can make that.
yeah, sure. Just quickly, I watched a couple of Wizards games and the Wizards look pretty decent actually. But they lost at Westbrook. Some people might think that they might have fallen off to a certain extent, but I think that um, the team on a whole, I don't think Bradley Beal has played very well for the preseason. That's okay. I feel like Bradley Beal will get his 30 a night nonetheless. But I think team wise, the team looks cohesive. The defense actually looks pretty decent, and I think that's a big plus for them going into the season because they've been at the bottom half of defensive ratings for the past couple of years, and I think they will give them a big boost. And we might be surprised to see them um, getting out the gates hot or in the hunt for playoff contention.
Okay.
Mm.
So thank you guys for tuning in again. More NBA talk when we come back, and I hope you guys stay tuned because we can get into some season predictions. So stay tuned. All right, people, we are back and we're going to dive right into the season openers. First of all, we're going to talk about Nets versus Bucks. Nets were I guess, the team for 2021 to win, but turns out that Bucks actually won. So we actually got a nice matchup for you guys, and everyone's going to talk all about that and what his thoughts are on how this game is going to go for sure.
All right. So getting into the Bucks versus Nets. Just a note. The first game that game is going to be on the 19th, which is Tuesday coming. I'm not sure the time, but I think around 7 or so. So you could tune in to watch it. It's probably going to be on TNT, and you should have a blast watching it. But the first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that the Bucks ring ceremony is going to be on that night, and the Nets have to be there. They're probably going to be in tears, absolute tears, to sit down and watch. Oh, these guys just putting their rings in front of them, and to know that Katie was just a toenail away from sealing the deal, right? Is even more pain, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure, for sure.
I think I think that is going to be the funny part about it to start off. I think one thing that is intriguing to see, just alluding to the preseason too. Again, Giannis was shooting a lot of shots, and his shot
Oh
mechanics
my
look
god.
amazing. So it's scary hours for the league. Scary hours for the league for sure.
Rayvon,
Yeah.
Rayvon, when Giannis videos dropped of his shot, oh my, there's nothing anyone could do. To me, it raised the question. Just I don't want to get off topic, but it raised the question of is Giannis no as talented as a young LeBron? To me, he's more deadly no with this shot. But so it's all to see no as far as I'm concerned this season.
I don't think it's a matter of talent, but it's just he could, like, it just raised his ceiling a little bit more. His ceiling has been already high.
But
Two
yeah,
MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year, NBA champion, NBA Finals MVP, and all of this without having a consistent jump shot. Oof.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's going to be a scary time.
That's that
Um,
hard work.
it's
But
true, but
like,
Yeah,
what do you think though? Like, you feel like he's going to be in in championship contention again this year?
um, I think you can't ever count out the defending champions from any
Hmm.
year, really and truly. But I feel like a lot of people are not speaking about them as much as they should be.
Hmm.
I don't. I think. Let me see. I think the Bucks will be up there. Right now, I have them to make the conference finals, and we'll see what happens from there. Really and truly.
All right,
Yeah.
cool, cool. I know Nets looked a little bit shaky in the preseason. I've seen some clips and I've seen one of the games, and Nets don't look too strong. But again, that's preseason stuff,
Exactly.
so you never know. James Harden could turn up on any night. KD always sniper
Yeah.
for them shots, and
Exactly.
who knows if Kyrie gets to come back in, which I definitely want to see. Like, I can't stop saying so
Yeah.
because Kyrie's that man with the handles. I
Yeah.
need to see that kind of thing inside the NBA.
Yeah.
So
He's the oohs and ahs.
you
Yeah.
know,
Well,
so yeah, definitely.
I think Kitty can be the easy money sniper as he is. He can be
Mhm.
Kitty can be Kitty. Like, don't let fool you. Um, Harding. I think that one thing that we gotta continue to watch is Harding facilitating the offense. I think I spoke
Mhm.
about it last time, but I think Harden might be extremely a little bit underrated in that regards as a point guard because of his prowess as a scorer, right?
Mhm.
So I think we can really see a lot more of his point guard attributes come out. Given the fact that Kyrie isn't there, also, I mean, Kyrie's listed as a point guard, but he was playing more of a shooting guard when he did the odd times that he was able to play with Harden and what's not. But I
Right.
feel like we can see James Harden unleash in that point guard role going forward, and to start out from as soon as opening night. Um, I think that also KD is going to come out trying to make a statement. Obviously because of the loss in the conference conference finals.
that's it.
So we're going to see what's going to be the turn. My prediction though is that the Nets win. I got
Mm.
KD to come out hot and just drop some bombs. and Harden be dishing them dimes, and I think it's gonna be a good match. It's gonna be a great match.
And we also spoke about that rule change. So we're going to see how Harden
Mm,
games flips a little bit because he always drawn the ball, always
yeah,
opportunity to get 3 or 4 points
yeah,
depending on where he shoots from on the court. So definitely going to see a little switch up in his game play, and I, I just hope it's a fun night of basketball.
yeah,
I doubt that it wouldn't be a fun night.
yeah,
So people, you got to tune into
yeah,
that one
yeah,
for
Yeah.
sure.
for sure. If there's any, and that one is early for the early sleepers. That one is going to be an early match, so
Hmm.
you could get it in and still have your time to sleep, right? Um, so
Now we can come full
yeah,
circle.
hmm
Talk about the 360
yes,
Lakers. We got we got LeBron, we got Russell, Westbrook, and AD. Thoughts, guys?
straight off the bat, I just think that this game could be all over the media.
A washout,
Yeah,
a blowout.
no, and the thing is, I think that the Warriors can beat them straight. No lie,
Oh,
no
okay,
lie,
Whoa,
okay,
whoa,
okay,
no
whoa,
lie.
okay.
I think that the
whoa!
Warriors will beat them. No
Come
lie.
back, come back, come back, come back. Because my head was going towards the 360 squad.
Nah.
Just know,
Nah.
and you just give me I know, boy. You just turn my head. Explain this.
Whenever LeBron has someone that he has to adjust to, I LeBron is take some sorry, just need this special time to kind of figure out, and he's always lose these type of games when he playing with a new player, a new star player, especially on the team, and he essentially trying to figure out. So I don't think we can get that LeBron straight out the gates or get that Lakers team that we expect him to be straight out the gates. Them need some figure out time, man. Um, alluding to the preseason again from the games I did watch and the things that I did see, it wasn't really going that well, to be honest. They're still in that phase of trying to figure out how to make it work, and I feel like the mentality of Westbrook is like a brick wall to a certain extent, and I think right now LeBron is just trying to take down some layers off of that brick wall, really and truly, but still keep Westbrook as a player as he's known to be, you know. Um,
Yeah.
so I think they could be doing some figuring out in this game, even though it's a big opening game. LeBron can probably want to make a statement still, but I feel like the the chemistry or the lack of cohesion that is yet to be discovered on the team will put a little hitch in the step of the how the result end up being in this first game. Really and
Yeah.
truly.
What
So
if?
I no,
Go ahead, go
just
ahead.
give me a second to hassle. Yeah. So I agree with everyone. I think that what is going to come down to the Lakers being bad more than the Warriors being better
Yeah,
than the Lakers. So that's exactly what's going to come down to. True preseason, we've seen a lot of turnovers and a lot of mistakes and stuff coming just from the team chemistry.
yeah,
Is not going to happen between this weekend and the start of the season. So um, that's simply going to come down. So I think our Warriors, like us, everyone didn't mention it, but Poole is playing out of his mind. That
hmm
boy's shot currently is just. I think he got the best shot in form right now.
yeah,
And then Steph is Steph. We know what Steph does. He does it all the time. He's been doing this for umpteen years now, since 2013 or so.
it's
He's
true.
been doing it.
Dropped 41 on the
Um,
Blazers in the last preseason game too. I mean, it's
exactly.
preseason, but it's
But
Steph.
yeah, we know it is. And then you still got Iggy right there. You still got Draymond Green. So I mean, like you got never. You have to never forget Iggy was the best six man we have ever seen
Yeah.
in the NBA final. And he did lose the title. He did lose a step. He hasn't lost a step as yet. So yeah, Warriors are very dangerous. But I really do think that it's just a matter of the Lakers not being as good as they can be
Yeah.
currently, and that's what's going to make them lose the match.
Yeah, and to add to the Warriors' point, yeah, that team has had cohesion for a little bit now. Bringing in players that understand the system to a certain extent is only their bench unit. I would say might be a little bit shaky because they got some rookies coming in. Interested to see how the rookies perform really and truly because they got two picks. I think it's Jonathan Kaminga and Moses Moody. Um, many people may not know the names, but they're supposed to be they're two top ten two top 10 picks, I think, and interested to see how they can be integrated in the system and how they can make an impact because the Warriors are accustomed to having a more veteran bench unit, but this time around is more a set of young guys
Young.
that really supposed to be taking hold of the bench unit. So interested to see how that goes in this first showdown.
And, a bench unit. I think this year more than the previous years. I think a hungrier bench right now is
Hmm.
probably going to be going to be more of an asset to you
Yeah,
in coming down into the latter stages of the season. So yeah,
always, always, man. Like, you mean in the starting five, he's always got them players that could go off, but you always need your bench as like a backup, as a support system for when you're starting five not really in rhythm or not in that cohesive state that it should be in to really like
yeah,
lift the team back up. So it could always be critical for sure.
yeah.
Final predictions, fellas,
Um, as I say,
for those two games.
yeah, yeah. As I say, I got Warriors to win the Lakers versus Warriors game, and I got the Nets to win the Bucks versus the Nets.
All right, so I have the Warriors to win the game as well, but I'm going against Raymond here. And I can't believe he didn't pick Giannis, Chris Middleton. I can't believe it, but we go with the Bucks. And to be quite candid with you, I don't think it's going to be as close as people might think it's going to be.
Okay, okay. them,
Yeah,
Well,
them little
I
shots
guess
that you see from Giannis got your head turned, boy.
not only that, but I just the Nets cohesion is not looking right. I
Mhm.
think KD they depend too much on KD sometimes, and I don't think James Harden is going to fire on the first night.
Okay,
As simple as.
all right. We'll see.
I think we got a nice mix of predictions because, to be honest, I thinking Bucks going to take this first game, and I think Lakers will actually find something in the bag and come up with a win. So some predictions there to
All
look
right,
at,
sweet, sweet, sweet.
for sure, for sure. So we're gonna kill it with the NBA talk for right now, people. We want to move right into NBA, not NBA, sorry, MMA, combat sports, and we got a card that happened over the weekend. The Bellator number 268. Cody, what are your thoughts about fight weekend?
Yes, sir. I cannot believe the UFC fumbled the bag so badly this weekend and gave their number one competitor all the spotlight. My God, this weekend, Bellator 268, the light heavyweight Grand Prix. We had the semifinals between Nemkov and Angelinkas. Then we also had Ramir versus Corey Anderson. Those were the two main fights going into going into this weekend. I have not seen I have not seen Corey Anderson look so good in a MMA fight yet. Rayvon, if you could pull up the first clip that I had, Corey, to just bring it is like Corey finishes the current heavyweight champion in 51 seconds within the first round. 51 seconds. Ryan Bader is touted to be one of the pound for pound best in Bellator, and he absolutely dominates him in no time. In nothing. So, and then
That's how MMA goes, you know.
yeah, just
One get a
and
hit
lift,
and
yeah, especially at
kind of on
those
spaghetti
heavyweight pounds,
legs, like Cody would
as
say.
you say. Yeah, and then Nemkov as well had a replacement fight. He was very explosive. Faced Anthony Johnson. That would have been a better fight, but Angelo Linkus coming on a 10 fight win streak. So I mean, this is no slouch that he was facing. But Nemkov is the current champion. He showed when he's the current champion. Absolutely dominated. So as you can see here, now we have Corey Anderson just absolutely dominating Ryan Bader. Just drops him, check overhand rate and just ground opponents him and does something that Corey Anderson is well known for. Um, I don't know what more we can say about Corey Anderson right now. Corey Anderson was when he was fighting in UFC, one of the top contenders. He's just showing improvements all around in his game as well now. So he has better striking, he has better all around wrestling, better jiu-jitsu. He's the most dangerous, I would say, I've seen Corey Anderson ever. Yeah. So if you could just show the still. that we had it right. So looking at it still, you could just see how he hits the overhand right. So for those who wouldn't know, there are kind of two ways to really to get someone not to or have them wobble, which would be to hit them with chin, flush on your chin, or to hit them behind the ear. Corey Anderson, I don't know if it's just perfect timing, great reaction, but he just flush, bump, not him right down, and then right where it was going. So that was absolutely wonderful to see. Yeah, perfectly placed, perfectly done. So he would have bought the first ticket into the semifinal, into the final, sorry, of the lightweight Grand Prix in Bellator. So the second fight I would like to get into would be Nankov fight. Nankov was absolutely dominant again. I would say he's probably one of the top three light heavyweights in the world right now. He showed poise and class and everything. His wrestling, I think Angelikas just gave up after the third round when he realized there was no recourse, no way out. Actually, he couldn't get his offense going. No jabs, no strikes, nothing. No offense he got going. His defense was lacking severely. Nemkov was looking for as much finish as he could. He was looking for the Kimura. He was looking for the armbar. He was looking for the guillotine as well. So there was nothing coming back his way. I think this was just an easy outing. I think that both fighters are very healthy. For the final, there's no excuses, no injuries to be going into now, and we have probably the best outcome for the light heavyweight Grand Prix. Yeah. So that sets up the final, which is going to be later down this year. And just a reminder, or FYI for those who don't know, but these fighters will win $1 million and the title of the best heavyweight, a light heavyweight in Bellator. So Bellator 268 really delivered on their main events, the main event and the co-main event this weekend. So yeah, and then just going down further down the card, I really want to miss a special mention of Want to Watch, which would have been
Gregory Miller.
Gregory Miller, yeah, he would have been Want to Watch. But unfortunately, he would have lost his fight. He would have lost his split decision, but he's from Aruba, so he's representing Caribbean right now. So I just wanted to give him a special shout out. Yeah, he really performed well in his matchup, but he just unfortunately lost the decision. Maybe that's one that we could get on the pod and have somebody to have a discussion with. Just
speaking into existence, sir. Speaking into existence.
Sure. Speaking into the Caribbean roots. Then we also had the real Want to Watch, I would say, coming off of this fight was Anaba. She, if where you could just put up, she really did a number on her opponent as well. There's no her third MMA fight, and she's just looking spectacular on the ground, striking all around. She wobbled her opponent twice before the clip that everyone showed, but she absolutely just dominated the ground. She made her opponent look like a complete amateur in the submission that was done with the arm in triangle. She made the opponent look a white belt when she's a black belt. She had every asset under control. The transitions was absolutely smooth. So Anaba, I would say, is one to watch coming up in the 115 division and with Miss Bellator. So yeah.
Nice. Sounds like it was a nice weekend of fights. I didn't get to see any of the fights, but seeing some of these clips, it would have been hype for sure. I definitely miss out on something. So people, you got to tune in when these fights happen.
Yeah. I just to talk, because sometimes you see some craziness coming from these finishes. So for the same card, although it wasn't on the main event, we had a submission. I could not let the people not see this submission. So where you could pull up this submission, please. We call this one the submission of the night from Bates. What he did was, he was going for the armbar, he extends the arm but loses the head. So with his feet, he was trying to wrap the head to hyperextend the arm. He loses the head, transitions, rolls over, and recaptures the head, and absolutely tears the ligaments over his opponent's arm. Nasty.
So how long is this bad guy out for?
Standard medical clearances every 3 months. They have, after a fight every 3 months, they have to wait it out and then go from there. But I think that his ligaments are really gone. So the ligaments are really gone. So he may be out for 6 to 9 months now. They're saying, yeah.
That's a long time to be out. Then you're gonna get that ring activity or to get back to prime conditions.
Ring rust, yeah, you really got to shake off the ring rust.
For sure.
And then I think we would have seen the KO of the night already, preemptively. The KO of the night. Jim Miller, 39 wins in the UFC, gets it done. He is all he was in UFC. Fight nights were still double digits. He was in the 100s, the 200s, and he's planning to go to UFC 300. That man is a living legend, a living veteran. Knocks his opponent down, bum, flush, wobbly legs, 2 seconds in. 2 seconds in, grown opponent is done. He was already out. He was already out, going to the ground. The referee did the right thing, get in there as quickly as possible. Jim Miller gets it done in great fashion. So even being an old man now in UFC, still perfect. Perfect, absolutely perfect.
Yo, those people that be fighting in UFC are real warriors though, because those knockouts and some of those beatings after you get them, like when someone's on the ground and you see people getting elbowed in the face or whatever.
Yeah.
Bro, yo. I could watch, but nah, don't put me in a ring in UFC at all.
So that you would have talked about UFC, so it begged an interesting question this weekend because I guess you would call the Dana White of Bellator, Scott Coker, would have stated this weekend that he believes that Bellator has the best light heavyweight division in the world. Obviously that's up for debate because the UFC holds the most talent and the most talent-rich pool in the world and has the best talent, more or less all around. But I do think he has an interesting argument for this. Then, but being the fact that John Jones has now gone from light heavyweight to heavyweight, and John Jones, living legend that he is, that only leaves Jan and Glover to chair, which I'm sure many don't know of. But those have all also been defeated by Corey Anderson, who fought this weekend, who is now going to fight for the title of Bellator's light heavyweight champion. And I think that Corey really dominated Glover in his match and really put the beating on Jan in their first outing. So yeah, Scott might be a little bit reaching in this aspect, but I don't think that he's far off. He's not far off when he says that Bellator may have the best light heavyweight division. And maybe over the UFC. And I do think that Bellator has some active fighters that would dominate in the UFC, such as AJ McKee, coming from featherweight. He that boy's dirty. Boy's nasty. The athleticism, the speed, the wrestling, the striking. That boy, one of the stiffest jabs you will see. He put down Patricio Pitbull, who is pound for pound probably Bellator's best fighter. He smashed him in no time. He didn't even have to go with the decision. He got a finish right away. So Bellator really does have some demons that you need to watch out for. And the UFC should really start paying attention to Bellator because they're really coming with a product here that, yeah, we know it's second best right now, but it's coming. It's really, really coming. The competition is coming. And 2 to 3 years, I really think Scott Coker has a winner on his hands.
Are you predicting a merging of Bellator and UFC into one fight group, or you think
So
it's going to be like a competition going on?
so that's what UFC did in the past with many promotions.
Hmm.
I know most people would be aware, but there were other promotions such as Straight Force or Elite XC or Pride, which all UFC would have amalgamated and put under the UFC banner. And eventually, all those fighters' contracts went to the UFC. I don't think that would be the same for Bellator. I think Scott Coker has a plan to keep his promotion going, and he will. I think he will keep it. And Bellator Bellator really made a competition for UFC in the Western market for sure. Also, special mention to One FC, One Championship. Sorry, they are doing the Asian market. There are really some dirty fighters out there as well, but it's not to the level of Bellator yet. But Bellator, I'm telling you, man, people sleeping on Bellator. People sleeping on it.
Getting there,
You
people.
talk about the Korean guy, you gotta give him a big shout out for like in one of our comments on the Astro Brewers Twitter page. For those who don't
Okay.
know, there's the Astro Brewers Twitter page. You just follow Astro Brewers as you see in the handle on the top, so we can get some live updates on any fights that are going on, any games, whether it be basketball, football, etc.
Also, just as you mentioned, that I don't remember, Bellator themselves actually linked our tweet about Inaba as well. They do agree that she's one to watch coming up in the ranks in the 115 division.
Get on it, people. Don't sleep.
Get on it.
Don't sleep at all. Moving on to some more fighting talk. We got in boxing. I know Cody had mentioned the fight between Alvarez and what's his name? Help me.
Caleb Plant,
Caleb Plant, correct. For a unification fight,
yeah,
I believe.
super heavy, super middleweight
Super
division.
middleweight, yeah,
Yeah,
super middleweight division coming up. But there's also a welterweight fight that's coming up between Terrence Bud Crawford and Sean Porter, and this fight should not be overlooked, people. This fight is a big fight. Why? Sean Porter only has two losses, and those are two losses to some of the best fighters. They were actually championship fights that he lost. He lost against the Southpaw Errol Spence, who had an injury lately. He was supposed to fight the great Manny Pacquiao, but
yeah.
unfortunately he had an eye injury in training camp. Some people were skeptical about it, but I don't think Errol is the guy to back out of any fight at all. So hopefully he gets another opportunity. I don't know if he still wants to fight Manny Pacquiao because Pacquiao lost his belt, and
It will
now
make sense for him.
Ogas is the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Ogas is the guy now, so he's got some play in what fights would happen. But that fight between Terrence Bud Crawford and Sean Porter is definitely one to watch out for. Fighting styles, or I don't know if it's a match. I don't know if they're great dance partners, but it will be a very interesting fight because Sean Porter is that like bulldog of the division. Like he comes in, arms swinging, he gets in there close up, and trust me, Terrence, as skillful as he is, needs to watch out for that. He's got that reach, so he could definitely keep him away with his jab, and he's quick. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good fight. I'm not sure how good he is on the inside because Terrence tends to fight from a distance and get to you when you slip up. But we'll see because, like I said, Sean Porter brings it every single time, and that would be a definitely good fight to watch. I think it's coming up November 20th, so be on the lookout for that. In the heavyweight division, we got the Ring Magazine's fighter, fourth ranked fighter Dillian White, I believe.
yeah.
He's fighting Otto Collin Volin is how you pronounce it. Wallin or something like that. Otto only has one loss, and that was against Tyson Fury some time back. And in that fight, he actually gave Fury a good low run, even though Fury was cut. I mean, that's up for debate as well. But hey,
Yeah.
um, he only got one loss. So Dillian White two losses on his side, but he fought some good contenders as well. So this will be very interesting fight coming up, and we'll probably see a promotion flip in the table or in the rankings between these two fighters if Dillian White loses. And obviously, if Dillian White wins, he'll probably get looked at again because he's the interim WBC world champion. So, some good stuff coming up in boxing. We definitely got more fights, but we won't mention that here today. With that, we're going to take a short break and then we'll come back with more sports news where we touch on other sports, F1, cricket, whatever else. We have EPL news as well. So stay tuned, people. And again, we appreciate you for joining the live. All right, people. So we're back with some sports news for you guys. So over the weekend and today, we had some EPL fixtures that we want to make some mention of. So Manchester and Leicester City. Leicester put four in Manchester United, and they like Manchester started off good, nice and hot with a screamer, but then Leicester just put it together, and we had some beautiful finishes in that match. We had Vardy scoring. I think we had four different scores from Leicester scoring in
Yeah,
that
we did.
match, so it was definitely a highlight to watch for sure. Cody?
Yeah, I think it now becomes a question of is Ollie still the right man for the job at Manchester United? He didn't seem to have a plan. How did he get Leicester's play? He didn't have a plan how to break it up. He didn't bring on any players that would affect the game. And he has done this no consistently for the start of the season. From the start of the season, the team doesn't look as cohesive as it could. The team is really just a bunch of individuals who are brilliant. We can never deny that, but
Yeah.
they they aren't at what they could be. To me, it's the same sort of situation as Frank Lampard with Chelsea last season.
Mhm.
It's a wonderful squad of players, but the manager wasn't getting it done. And then Thomas Tuchel came in and got it done on the back end of that season. I think Manchester United need to do that a little bit earlier this season, but I don't think they will. The owners are very content with how Ollie goes about his business. It's not very revolutionary or destructive or he doesn't push any boundaries or anything. Like he's very reserved, and that's how they want their manager, very in line, as many would say. So I don't think the situation is going to get any better. I think the only way things would change there is for outside pressure from the fans. I do see fans turning against Ollie and the team no more, but um, it 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 really just boils down to manager at this point because can't say he doesn't have the resources or he doesn't have the talent on the field.
Yeah.
It's just down to the manager now.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, speaking of individuals though, and just going back to that point, Rashford got his first goal. Sent the long way. So happy for him, but you can't overlook the effort that Leicester City put in order to get this victory at home over Manchester United. Then we had Newcastle and the team. The match is
Tottenham.
slipping me, man. Yeah,
Tottenham.
Newcastle started off hot. Like the first goal within the second minute of the match, yo, the guy came on the right hand side, crossed it into the box, and it was a diving header, bouncing diving header into the back of the net. Absolute screamer. If you haven't watched the highlights, go watch that highlight. That goal was immaculate.
Something special. Yeah, that was something special.
Was beautiful.
Next time we have the highlight there for the viewers to see one thing.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was a good goal, and we know that they're not the richest club in the world, so we're going to see some changes. And it did start off hot for them, unfortunately, they kind of lost pace, and Tottenham was able to come back. Harry Kane with a deadly, soft, beautiful hack over the keeper for it was just gorgeous to see. It was like some speculation on the offside and if the goal was actually valid, but turns out it was. And that kind of broke up the celebration in the moment because the ref put up the offside flag and it was like, ooh. Yeah. Then there was a celebration afterwards, it was confirmed. So that kind of killed the vibe in a sense, but still, seeing that goal and the awareness that Harry Kane has is just amazing. And that comes back to that point we were making last week. Did we make it? I don't think so. Anyways, but Harry Kane is a top athlete, and we always got to give him credit when he performs, for sure. So Tottenham ended up winning the game though, and I guess Newcastle did put up a good fight, but they end up getting a red card, and unfortunately they weren't at their best. There were a lot of fouls, a lot of yellow cards given, and they started off hot, like I said, but they didn't really cut it. So moving on to some cricket news. The World Cup has started. So could you want to elaborate on that some more for the
Yeah.
people? Yes.
Fake
So
World
the
Cup.
so the T20 World Cup for cricket started today. Oman versus Papua New Guinea. Those are
Every time
not
I hear it,
teams.
I just like what?
It sounded like he
Yeah,
said old man, and then
Yeah.
and I'm just dying. But yeah,
yeah. So those were two teams that kicked off the World Cup today. Obviously we aren't accustomed hearing those names around cricket at all, but Oman really played well today. I have to say, Papua Guinea was quite poor, especially in the field. Dropped multiple
Papua New
catches.
Guinea. Oh
Papua New
man.
Guinea, yeah.
But I, like before you continue, it just I know it's a funny thing to hear, but it just speaks to the growth of cricket outside of what we normally know cricket to be.
Great to be,
So
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
props to whoever is there. I don't know their we would call that there's a term for persons that seek to expand a business in a certain way. I don't know if you guys would know what's the term for it.
Like a
Whatever,
Franchise
sporting director.
management.
something
Yeah.
like that, whatever it is. But
I
props
don't
to
know.
whoever that person is because they're doing a really good job in terms of spreading cricket across different borders, places that have never been, and things
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah,
that's
so just to add to that point, we've definitely been seeing a growth in cricket, especially in the eastern part of the world, in the Eastern Europe as well. There's been a 10 over tournament. So you're seeing teams like Estonia and Romania, and
whoa.
places that the Caucasus region and stuff that you
I think
never.
Caucus.
these games play indoors because they figure from the time you try to bowl, you will freeze in Estonia. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
The ball will be hitting ice.
but they play outside
Oh,
regulation cricket players. So really interesting to see the growth because I think what would it be like 4 or 5 years ago, people would be making sport of Afghanistan
yeah.
being in the World Cup and stuff, and
Mhm.
now we're seeing Afghanistan as not necessarily a world beater, but a force
Yeah.
within world cricket. No, they have beaten India, and they've beaten England as well. So they've beaten some good teams, and they're really coming along. Want to
I
watch
think
as well. Oh, go ahead.
no. I was gonna mention that Canada had made an attempt a couple of years back as well, but
Yeah.
I don't know if their dreams were cut short.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so their dreams are cut short. I don't think that they would be participating in this World Cup as well.
Yeah.
I think Scotland, out of the newer teams, I think Scotland would be the one to watch. They won today as well. Again,
Oh well.
they look a proper team as well today as
In
well.
Scotland been around for a little bit, not so.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
maybe
they've
around
been
the same Afghanistan time and
right,
whatnot. Yeah.
right. So they'll be considered a newer team because like
Mm-mm.
West Indies and stuff would have been playing
Yeah.
since
Yeah. Since
yeah, back
birth.
when yeah, since yeah. So I think between Afghanistan and Scotland would be the ones to watch in terms of newer teams.
Yeah.
I guess a quick prediction for this World Cup. We don't. I think we're going to see a West Indies victory. Surprisingly, I think we're going to get it in T20. Yeah, I
Rally
think we're
around
going to
the
get it.
West Indies. No one forever. People, on that point, West Indies playing tomorrow, so don't miss it, people. Don't miss it at all. West Indies playing Pakistan. It's going to be a good match. But like Cody said, West Indies for this World Cup, we got to rally around our brothers, man. So regardless of how you feel when West Indies seem to be playing the backside or whatever, you still got to rally around them and let them feel the love from your fans. We can't afford to got our guys thinking about losing, I guess, family, if you want to call it that. Support, always gotta get big support from your home crowd. So
Man,
definitely watch that match, people, for
I think
sure.
I
Yeah,
think
go
when
ahead.
West Indies does win, I think them players just be eligible to get line all sorts thing. That's how it be. So once you do well, I certain
Yeah,
they will get the support. Even people that don't
Yeah,
normally watch cricket can be all out the seats behind it. So
yeah.
once we get
But that's
going,
the thing about Caribbean fans, right? And like when everything going good, Caribbean fans is be hype.
Yeah, the
You
best
know,
fans.
yeah, people skip
Yeah.
lunch to watch the game
Yeah.
and all kind of thing. But but when West Indies ain't doing that good for a little while, everybody just seemed to part ways and got all sorts of negative things to say about West Indies. But West Indies got a lot of talent, man. A lot
Yeah.
of talent. So rally around the West Indies people.
Sure, for sure.
Um, NBA news. We got some WNBA news, women's NBA.
Yeah,
Move on.
actually, it just happened. The Chicago Sky are the WNBA champions, led by Parker, and it's the first championship for the team and also for Candice. And I know from watching, she plays a analyst role on some of the things that I watch online, and I know she is a Chicago girl. So this victory probably is one of her most emotional moments in her career. So big shout outs to Candice Parker. Happy for her winning, and we'll see what else she has in store come next NBA season.
Yeah, for sure.
WNBA.
It's always good to get some traction from WNBA.
Yeah.
Those when I watch some of those clips and some of those games, I'm actually impressed with the level of competition that you get when you see these women go
Yeah.
up against each other. So I would also encourage people to support the women's NBA as well.
Yeah. It's a little bit overlooked, and I could see that the NBA players themselves have been actively trying to get persons to get on board and watching it. Like just doing small things, just like wearing wearing the WNBA
Jerseys.
yeah well not jerseys but just what do you call it, memorabilia, not memorabilia
Oh
but
yeah. It,
you know what I mean.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. um
Yeah, like merch.
yeah, merch,
Sure.
best
Yeah.
word. WNBA merch. I see also too, um during the preseason the Suns were playing on the WNBA version of um version playing they were playing the preseason games on the WNBA version of their court. I can't remember
Mm.
what the WNBA team, the name of the WNBA team for the Suns, but they were playing on the court pretty much for most of the preseason. So that was added advertisement of the WNBA again, and many times I see different players just talking about trying to get people to tune in and whatnot. So um, yeah, the guys are really behind it, and I love the support that they get that the WNBA gets from the NBA in terms of just keeping it, trying to get promotion and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Because there's really some talent there too, and as you see from the clips, there's some there's some crazy stuff that you see in those games, so just as much as
Yeah,
in
man,
NBA itself. So
for
it's
sure.
a good thing to keep an eye on too, for those in the sports world.
Definitely. Last but not least, we got some F1 news. So Max Verstappen has taken the lead last week in the Turkish Grand Prix in um, drivers' standings. So he's ahead of Lewis Hamilton, and following Lewis Hamilton is Valtteri Bottas in third, and then we got Lando Norris and Sergio Perez. So Red Bull definitely stepped up their game since the previous years after signing Sergio Perez. Max Verstappen has always been um, elite in his ability and in the whole series. So the Grand Prix is moving to United States next weekend. So hope you guys tune into that because I think we're in for a good race. There's a very close gap in the points for the leadership between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, who has won the series I think 8 times now. So definitely look out for that. And next year, there's going to be 23 races for the entire season. So people is going to be exciting. You could also follow the sport on Netflix if you watch Drive to Survive. If you're not yet into F1 or motorsport, but that's a good series to watch. It gives you a little insight on what's going on week in and week out with these drivers. And to be honest, man, there there are some young guys that are really killing it, doing very well at some of the major um, sporting teams. So definitely give that a check out. And like I said, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today. This one has been fun. Thanks, Cody, for giving us that MMA and boxing talk. Rayvon, thanks for tuning in for basketball.
Of course.
Definitely appreciate that. It's been fun for me. What do you guys have to say? It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been great conversation, great laughter, great fun. Just looking, it's great working with you guys, and you got a lot more episodes to come. So
For sure.
Yeah, for
looking
sure, for
forward
sure.
to it.
We already look out for sure. Yeah, fun as always for you guys. I still learning a lot as well for you guys. So
Yeah,
really enjoy my time here on the sun.
yeah, yeah. Same here.
Definitely. All right, people. So that's it for this week. Join us again next week, and we'll see you later, people. Thanks.